Now we're live. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for checking in with Abe and Ray's channel. Tonight, it's a very, very special night. As you see, somebody digitally next to me right here, and I'm going to introduce him in 2 seconds. And I'm very honored to introduce this wonderful man. And it's also the first time I really didn't question too much things, so it's a surprise for me as well. So whatever the audience is going to learn tonight, I'm learning for the first time too. So let me introduce myself. I should have done that first. My name's Abe Sharkus, and I love health and I love wellness. It's the coolest thing in the world, and it definitely shape-shifted my life 100%. As you guys know from the previous videos, I started my journey while focusing my energy and time on food, and through channeling my energy and time through food led me to a whole dietary shift and a physical shift, as well as a spiritual and a mental shift as well. So tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing an amazing, amazing man named Jamie right here. He's amazing spirit. We were on literally off the call for about 15 minutes just laughing it up. The last thing we were laughing about a test shot that we kind of did before, but it was pretty hilarious. So please feel free to introduce yourself. Jamie, go for it.
Thank you, Abe. It's really an honor to be here, and I'm really excited getting to know you and everyone as well. A lot of people know me as Tom too. So if you know me already, you may know me as Tom Melly. But in my Young Living community, my nickname is Jamie. So I have been an entrepreneur for the past 3 years. I started a nonviolent communication business. And was just helping a lot of people with conflict resolution and spiritual empowerment. I was working with a lot of couples and stuff, and I really still enjoy that empowerment work very much. And I got to this point where the business, I didn't know this when I started, but the business of coaching is something that became all-consuming, and I ended up doing about 10% of my time was spent coaching, and the other 90% was spent marketing and fiddling with websites and social media and like all these back-end systems that I needed to learn, and I wasn't doing what was in my heart to do, and it was really destroying me. And so after I did a telesummit, which I really loved preparing, and I didn't make the impact that I wanted. There was about 500 people that I ended up working with, which was great, but it didn't lead to the long-term clients that I was hoping it would. I realized okay, now it's time to pursue the Young Living thing, and now, I mean, it's just been a whole 180. I'm sure as I learn more about your story too, Abe, it's similar for you, but the way that this business has been growing for me, the number of lives that I'm impacting, the speed with which people are growing, and how included everyone feels. I love everything about it. It's so starkly different. So yeah, that's kind of where I am now, and I'm advancing like a rank a month. It's been pretty nuts.
Nice.
And, I get to hang out with all the people that I love and share oils with people that I love, and it's really great. So that's the short story of where we are today.
Nice stuff. Well, if I can ask you a question, which I was compelled to ask you from the beginning of our conversations,
Sure.
What got you into, oils? And when we're talking about oils, if this is the first time you're viewing it, we're talking about therapeutic grade essential oils. You can definitely check it out. If you want a little bit further information, you can go to youngliving.com to get a little bit more information about that, or you can private message us at abeandray@gmail.com for a little bit more information. But when I say oils, I'm not just meaning olive oil or soybean oil or canola oil or Pam spray-on oil. We're talking about Young Living essential oils, and they're all therapeutic grade oils. So once again, Jamie, what was that spark for you to kind of get into this?
Well, my sponsor, Tama Jackson, and I have been friends for about 7 years, and his family has been journeying with the oils for a long time. I'm not sure exactly how long, but it was always in their home, and when we would visit, they would have them out, and we would kind of explore them a little bit. And when Tama decided to start his business 2 years ago, I was kind of with him alongside him, and so I did enroll 2 years ago, but I said, I need to focus on my business right now, so I'm not going to pursue this as a business for a little while, and I just learned a lot about by watching Tama and learning about the oils and using the oils constantly. So I was kind of exposed to them. I had a lot. Initially, I had a lot of skepticism, which I think a lot of people do. It's very normal.
Yeah.
What are these? What are these oils? You know, oh my goodness, they're so unsafe. I saw people just like pouring them all over, and you know, I was exposed to the oils that you can buy in like a health food store.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I tried to put those on, and I got like a rash. I was like, oh my
Ooh.
goodness, what's going on? And so then when I tried these, and these are even, I think, beyond therapeutic grade. It's like Young Living therapeutic grade is a whole other level of. I mean, I just read recently. I just found out that they sell like 70-something% of their oils to other companies when they do the testing.
Yeah.
Because it's like if it could be perfect, but if it doesn't have the right amount of a certain chemical constituent, they're like, this isn't the medicinal compound that we want. And so it's so next level their the quality standards that they have. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so then when I started putting these oils on and I wasn't having any reactions and I felt better and I was like, huh, what's going on here? And I started to do a lot of research. I'm a science nerd, so I checked all the science, all the PubMed, and I had a library subscription to peer-reviewed journals, science. So I did like a year of research, really intense research, and all I kept seeing was like, oh, these trials helped these people with cancer, and this trials helped these people with their sugar levels and curing diabetes. And well, we can't say cure, but in the studies they were finding that there were constant and consistent therapeutic effects. And so all of my ideas that these oils were dangerous or unsafe or whatever, they were just falling away. They kept falling away the more research that I did. And I still do research every day. I find out more and more and more. And I just realized that a lot of the safety concerns were because people were like drinking like 4 bottles of oil because, it's like it's nothing that anyone would ever do, from common sense. And so then I allowed myself to fall in love with the oils, and then they became an everyday part of my reality. And now I know. It's like when I get a headache, oh, peppermint. I'm just going to take peppermint, rub it on my palms, and rub it into my temples, and it's gone in 5 minutes. And I love sharing that with other people. So that's kind of my story with the oils.
And what was one of the moments that you had that allowed you to heal from something? Because I know you said I was a skeptic too. I think everybody that naturally, likes to question, likes to think things, especially from a scientific background.
Right.
We are kind of drilled in the brain, question until everything is solved. So what was the moment where that skepticism faded away for you? Was it an aspect of healing that you felt?
Maybe it was a combination of, it's kind of like one of those things where the iceberg is 99% under the water, and then like the 1%, there may have been this moment. I think I had a lot of warts on my leg, and I was putting frankincense on and lemon on and thieves on and clove, and I was doing it one by one to test, and I would put it on one, and then after a week that one would like fall off.
Whoa.
And all the other ones were still there, and I was like, okay. So then I started doing them with all the others, and they're almost all gone. And the only reason why some of them are still there is because I forget to put it on a few days in a row. That's what I realized I had to do, is put them on consistently, otherwise it wouldn't happen. So yeah, I mean, I think that it was just consistent daily research combined with just seeing really clearly the warts go away and my headaches go away. And I'm a runner, so like when I would run, I just assumed that my hips had to hurt after I would run. That was just what happened. My hips would hurt, my knees would hurt. And I was like, oh, wait a second, I could use Panaway and evergreen essence. A lot of the evergreen oils are great for muscle pain. So I would put a few drops of peppermint and on my hips and on my knees, and then I would rub a few drops of evergreen essence into my muscles and massage them into my leg muscles. And I would wake up the next day like no pain, no soreness.
Mm.
And I remember I got a little angry because I was like, no, I mean, not that it worked. I was angry. Like, wow, like 30 years of thinking that I should just feel this pain,
Whoa.
you know?
Yeah.
And then, remembering when I would run really long distances and I was out of commission for like a week. Where I was like, it would hurt to walk because I just ran a marathon or something, and it was just like, oh, well, I'm gonna not be able to walk for a week. That's just what happens after I run a marathon. And I was like, that doesn't need to happen. Maybe that doesn't need to happen. I don't know. Everyone's situation is different, but I realized for me that didn't need to happen. And so I started just using Panaway and Evergreen Essence after my runs, and I just wake up the next day after a good night's sleep. And I want to say that this isn't like you can put the oils on and then get an hour of sleep and be fine.
Yeah.
You need to eat healthy, you need to sleep well, it needs to be integrated with a total health plan in order for the effects to really be maximized. But when I did that, the results were really clear.
Absolutely.
And I don't need a double-blind control study to show me that this works, because I've never experienced that before in my life, and it's very clear that it's happening due to the oils, because it's the only thing that I'm doing different. So
Absolutely.
I feel confident that it's coming from the power of the oils.
And how has, because a lot of times when one person is skeptical and that fades away through the time and the energy, as well as you said a very powerful word, consistency. You're very consistent with the use of the oils, with your total health plan. It's not just a magic tool. It's just one tool on your tool belt, mixed with exercise and dietary function, meditation, possibly spiritual work, whatever you want to consider. Now, once your skepticism faded away, sometimes we hear people that are in relationships or friendships, and it's different because some people, they're just using these products, and people around them like, hey, what are you doing? Like, that's really, really weird. Have you faced any of that from possibly family or friends?
Some. I guess I'm so surrounded with people that get me and get, like, it's almost like, I think one of the things I learned from Big Al, who came to speak the other day, was that a lot of the objections actually come from not having established rapport with the people that you're sharing it to. Or sharing it with. There may be some element of distrust there in the quality of relationship that I may have with a person. And that's what I realized is, like, when people really trusted me and trusted my intentions, and when I wasn't coming from any kind of place of urgency or attachment, but just real generous sharing and curiosity, and like, hey, would it be okay if we tried these or played with this a little bit, and kind of that open exploration, it really shifted. It's like the resistance wasn't invited so much. But yeah, if there's a lot of resistance from people, unless I really, really am close with them and I'm going to be interacting with them on a daily basis, I let go. I mean, there are hundreds of people out there that are going to be interested and that are going to get it and that are going to be that are going to want to explore this and that are going to be excited about it. If someone is leading with that, I say, hey, it's okay. You don't have to do this. I'm going to go to these other 150 people that want to learn about this, and they're ready to make their lives better. Keep me updated on your success. Let me know how things are going. Let's stay in touch. Let's stay connected. And if you're ever interested in learning more, let's connect.
Nice.
And there's something disarming about that. I think the posture difference between like, I have something you need, please try it, oh my goodness, please try it, versus like it's like hunting versus fishing, Brian Carruthers says. And I love this. With hunting, you're going after something. And you're trying to like catch it, and there's this animal and it's afraid of you and it's like running away. And that's what a lot of people do when they're trying to share something that's actually really beautiful. And that's not the energy or the posture that we want. The energy or the posture that we want is fishing. We put something beautiful that's very attractive and alluring and wonderful at the end of something, and we just put it out there.
Mm.
And we see who comes, and people come, and if they're interested, they'll bite with, hey, can you tell me more about the oils? Can you show me more about this? Can we have a conversation? And it's like just really having that non-attached energy of like, this is something that's really beautiful. I would love to share more with you. And if you're really excited about that, let's continue connecting. And if not, I'm going to spend my time with these other 100 people that are. That would be my advice, and I've seen that over and over again on my own team, is reminding people, like, don't get fixated on like the 1 to 5 people that you really hope are, join your team. They're not going to join because you're persistent with nagging them. That's going to turn them off. They're going to join because they trust that you care about them. They trust that you have their best interest in mind, and that you're really meeting them where they are. And sometimes people don't join until they see that you're successful. So if people are throwing objections out, just prove them wrong with your success. And I don't mean that in like a haughty way, like prove them wrong, but through revenge. I mean it just like nothing speaks louder than healing yourself, becoming financially wealthy yourself, and your own abundance. Let that speak for itself. Convincing with words is a complete waste of energy. This is my opinion.
Yeah, of course. Nice. Well, that was very well said. And I definitely think a lot of people need to research. You said something about Brian Carruthers. Which book were you talking about in regards
He
to
wrote a book called Building an Empire.
Building an Empire?
Which I think is a kind of a funny name. Empire has imperialistic connotations I'm uncomfortable with. But there's actually a book which I think is better for people to start with.
What would you recommend?
It's called Best First Worst. And it's a book where I forgot the author's. I have it. I'm looking on my bookshelf. Where is it? Well, it's these 2 women interview 75 network marketing professionals, and they ask them, what's the best thing you can do to succeed? What's the worst thing you can do? And what's the first thing you should do?
Best, worst, first.
Best, worst, first. It's an incredible book.
Nice.
Very powerful.
Have you ever felt, because I know we've tossed around the word network marketing a few times, on air tonight. A lot of times people fear, very, very afraid of that word. Oh, it's a pyramid scheme, and I don't want to do this. This is going to be complicated and whatnot. And sometimes people really just seek out opportunities that might be instant gratification and comfort. I know Rachel, she shared something with me, Ray, actually. So she shared something with me a while ago, a few months ago, actually. It was about an entrepreneur, and I might be saying this wrong, Rach, so you might have to comment on the comments, but he said short-term pain will lead to long-term pleasure, but most likely short-term pleasure has a higher value or a higher statistical outcome to lead to long-term pain. So short-term pain, long-term pleasure, short-term pleasure, long-term pain. Sometimes I know and I feel a lot of the resistance that I might get is because people feel comfort at that 9 to 5 and the 9 to 8. But that same amount of hours that you're putting in, you can get the same, if not way more, most likely way more, back from it. And when I'm saying get back, I'm not just talking about a monetary exchange of value, but a non-financially based value being exchanged, which is trust, which is growth, which is leadership, which is love, and real love, and not the mushy-gushy stuff that we equate it to, but the true exchange of value at an unconditional way. So I agree with you 100% on that. So when somebody comes to you and says, I don't want to do this, it's all about network marketing, what's the first thing that you usually, say?
I would ask them what their story is. Be like, it sounds like you had a bad experience with this. What was it? What happened? Because they need to get it out. They need to get it out. And then I can see based on what they say, Is it something, they say it's a pyramid scheme. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? Just like engage with them a little bit. And I mean, it's kind of like, it's not real because I know I'm not engaged in a pyramid scheme. I know that this is not the absolute furthest thing from a pyramid scheme. So that has no power when I hear that. It's kind of like what it is it's information about how this person is viewing it.
Mm.
And I can meet that with a, okay, yeah, I mean, I felt that way initially too. I did my research online, and so much stuff is like, oh, they actually mistake they say all network marketing is pyramid schemes. I mean, those are just people that have no idea what they're talking. I mean, it just could not be further from the truth once you've been successfully involved with one of these things. But that's the filter, so I know that that's going to happen. So the first thing is to expect that. Expect people to come with that kind of thing, because that's the mass cultural idea about it right now, which is going to shift very soon. I'm convinced of it. And so yeah, I allow them to speak, and then based on what they say, I see where the gaps in their understanding is, and then I point them to some videos.
Mm.
Yeah, I can see why you would think that, and there's a few reasons why this isn't a pyramid scheme. And I'd love to, are you open to hearing some more about that?
Mm.
You
Nice.
know, or we can do the, would it be okay if I shared something with you that might educate you a little bit more about what a pyramid scheme is and what I'm doing and how it's different.
Nice.
So just
Nice.
like, coming from that place of this is about learning, and you can do feel, felt, found. I felt the same way, felt the same way, and then I found that this is not a pyramid scheme, and here's why. So that's kind of how I would work with that. But it does go back to Tom Big Al's thing, is that if you're coming up against objections, it probably is a symptom of there's not enough trust built into the relationship yet.
Hmm.
And so I would
Listen.
my first thing is just to really, I kind of always want to be from this perspective of like, I might let you become a part of my team. That's the posture. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to get everyone to be. It's like, let's see if you qualify to be a leader on my team. That kind of posture is like, you come to me if you're interested. It's just a completely different energy. And when people feel that, I mean, they're not going to feel like you're offering them a pyramid scheme, because those people are desperate. They're trying to get you to do stuff. They're trying to get you to whatever. And this is like, whatever. I'm going to be super successful with this. And if you want to be a part of that, come with me.
Mm.
And if you don't, that's fine.
Mm. Nice.
And then I just stay connected with them, because they need to see it a few times. I care about these people, so I want to stay connected with them. And then 2 months from now, if I've doubled my income, I've got a success story.
Beautiful.
So that's
beautiful.
No urgency around it.
Absolutely, and I agree 100%, and especially with, I agree 1,000,000% with the first thing that you said, which comes down to listening, really, really listening and hearing others out. One of my best friends, his name is Yaya Bakar. Everybody can look him up on this call. Go look up Yo Yaya on Facebook, or search it in Google. He'll pop up, and he's a big advocate on listening. And listening, when you have that ability to fine-tune your way of hearing other people, and I always say my mantra is, I'm here to hear you. To really, really hear. I'm present to hear you out. I am here to hear you. And there's a quote that he says, because if I go 2 steps back when I'm talking about network marketing showed me real aspects of exchanging love, because that was a value that was being exchanged within my community. He has a quote, and he always says that listening overcomes virtually everything. Listening overcomes virtually everything. When you can really listen to somebody and hear them out, it can overcome any fear, it can overcome any stress, it can overcome any worry. And if you really want to understand that aspect of an exchange of love, listening overcomes virtually everything. Listening, L, overcomes O, virtually V, everything E. Spells out love, so you can't forget it. And that's a really great trait that you have, and I know anybody on your team is probably just honored to have an individual like you to work hand in hand with, to exchange values. So I just can't wait to literally meet you in person Jamie, and thank you so much for your time. I know we're cutting it short because this thing only lasts about 30 minutes. So if I can ask you one last thing, if there is one thing you want to share with somebody who's never used this product or has never really thought about venturing into a realm like the one that me and you are in, what would be one piece of advice that you can give to them?
I mean, the thing that comes to mind is just try it. Try it. I mean, there's nothing to lose. There's absolutely nothing to lose. Just try it. I mean, this is one of the most low risk investments you can possibly make in your life.
Yeah.
And the opportunity that's on the other side of it is so huge.
Absolutely.
Compared to the smallness of the investment. Just try it. Just smell. Just hang out with people who are doing it. Get to know the culture. Hang out with some teams that are doing this thing, and you'll see the way that people treat each other. I mean, you'll see. I mean, you can't be successful in network marketing unless you really care about people, and if you're really listening, and if you're really, focused on empowering other people. That's the only way you can make it, is if you're focused on empowering other people, and so that it attracts a certain kind of person. And so just, I think, hanging out with those people more and more, and seeing the kind of high level integrity that a lot of people are bringing to this profession was a real game changer for me. And that's my suggestion. Just explore. Have it be fun. Don't think you need to make a decision. You don't need to decide today. Just explore. And when the timing is right, when you find the right situations, it will click just like it did for me. And then I just launched like 1,000% when I was ready.
Nice, man. Well, like I said before, I'm so honored that I had the opportunity to speak with you and hear you out again and hear you out a little bit deeper with more depth. And I can't wait to meet you in person soon. I'll definitely be, and if anybody's interested in having to see us or wanting to see us personally, you guys can email abeandray@gmail.com. We'll shoot you out the next time I have a meeting in North New Jersey area. Or I know Jamie is headquartered around the upstate New York area, around, I think, SUNY, right? Like SUNY New Paltz area?
Yeah.
New Paltz area. So if anybody in that area is interested, feel free to email us, and we'll send you the connection right to Jamie. And if you have a website or anything like that, Jamie, that you'd like to plug in, or a Facebook page or group?
Sure. People can connect with me on Facebook. My name is Thomas Meli, M-E-L-I. You can friend me there. I think I have a resource page for people that are interested in this, oils.thrivefromwithin.com.
Nice.
A lot of great resources there on how to launch and your first week in Young Living and all that cool stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, just let's connect. Tell me about your dreams and your interests and your vision for your most fulfilled life.
Nice, man. Nice stuff. Well,
and Abe, I also want to say this has been a real pleasure and an honor to be here with you. I feel everything that you're saying of me I could equally say about you, and how honored I feel to be here. And so thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share this space with you.
Just a reflection. That's what I said before.
Yeah.
Whatever is in me is in you, and whatever anybody who's viewing this call sees within me and our characteristic traits, it's all within you too. I'm blessed to have everybody who's watching this call right now. We can't really see who's watching this right now, so feel free to watch it. It's going to be on YouTube, so you guys can find it later. We'll post up this on our Facebook pages. And like I said before, next time you guys want to come to one of our events, we're going to be hosting a few events in North New Jersey area in October for sure. So if you guys want to find out, email us at abeandray@gmail.com. And we have a weekly giveaway. So if you guys want to be entered into our raffle, feel free to enter it. Just send us an email at abeandray@gmail.com and just ask us to be into the raffle, and we'll put you in the raffle to reveal next week's winner. On that note, we love you all, and I'm so honored that everybody watched us tonight. We wouldn't be able to do this if you guys haven't been watching this, so thank you guys so much for your support. I really, really appreciate that. If it wasn't without the viewers, we wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you guys so much. I'm honored. And until next time, catch everybody later. Thank you so much, Jamie. I love you so much, and I will see everybody on Wednesday, next coming Wednesday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.